Africans with African pride, fighting to attain our rights. Want no more shedding of blood for our nation to move forward. Africans with African pride, fighting to attain our rights. Want no more shedding of blood for this nation to move forward. But make we can all unite, put each man difference aside. Why can't we just come together, see some tribal wars and fight? Who knows better must do better. A source of collective insight may not be exposed to education, but surely knows from right. Africans with African pride, fighting to attain our rights. Want no more shedding of blood for this nation to move forward. Africans with African pride, fighting to attain our rights. Want no more shedding of blood for this nation to move forward. Say, hey, we need a motivation, teach I to be self-sufficient. Don't want to depend on no one for attainment of my bread. Oh, these words are my calling. Children crying white squad tears. Hunger rampant harvest plenty.
It's so good. Praise the Most High God every day. With your whole heart desire. Lift him high, lift him high. Holy, 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 holy.
Hello, I'm Jesse White, Illinois Secretary of State.
This is Danielle Mitchell with Average Black Girl.
Hey, this is Don from Our Voice.
This is Jeff Badu from Badu Tax Services.
My name is Agwedima.
My name is Olivier Kamanzi.
This is Chateau.
My name is Eme Adibe.
And you're listening to Progressive Mind.
Progressive Mind.
Progressive Minds with your host, Alinko, on WGHC 98.3.
It's every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. on WGHC 98.3 FM.
This is Sana, host of Progressive between 7 to 9 p.m. Central Time. We'll be coming your way with topical issues that pertain to our community, issues that relate to you and I. Join the #1 community building show in the entire world as we seek to uplift our community. If you're outside the range, just download the TuneIn app on Google Play Store and search for WGHC. If you're an Apple user, just go to your App Store and download WGHC app. You can also ring 563-999-3221 to listen to us live. Search for Progressive Minds on Facebook, like the page, and turn on your notification. You can also catch us on YouTube by searching for Progressive Minds. Progressive Minds, to whom much is given, much is required.
Thy rod and staff, they are with me. They surely comfort me.
My table, oh, has furnished in the presence of my foes. My head, oh, half anointed with oil. My cup it overflows.
Goodness and mercy all my life shall surely follow me. And in just us forevermore, my dwelling place must be.
Goodness and mercy all my life shall surely follow me. And in just us forevermore, my dwelling place shall be.
Welcome to the Progressive Mind Show here at WGHC 98.3 FM. Your voice, your music, your station. This is your host, Alinko. Thank you all listeners for joining in and tuning in at this moment in time. You can catch us for Facebook. Catch us on Facebook by searching for Progressive Minds. Like the page, you can watch us live. For those who not Facebook, you can catch us on our website, wghcfm.org. For iPhone users, search for WGHC. And Android users can download TuneIn app and search for WGHC FM. Alternatively, you can call 563-999-3221 to listen to this show. We encourage you to join the feed, and once you come on, share it so your friends and our friends can all participate in this conversation. Today, we'll be talking about all the money that we make, all the money that we strive for, all the money that we hustle and bustle for. Have a use, and how do we use it? What's the essence of getting all the money and not have good use for it? This evening we have fine gentlemen here in the person of Anthony Amponsah, to my immediate left, and then next to him is James Wilson. He calls himself the serial entrepreneur. This one here is the capitalist. The capitalist. You better know. If you don't know now, you know. All right. It's 6 minutes past 7 here in Chicago. I would get you the. Now we were hoping that our weather, our health and fitness guy will be available. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it. I think he's on a flight at this moment. So pardon us for today. We're not able to give you the health and fitness update. The weather, however, in Chicago is 38 degrees Fahrenheit. It's bright. We will take it. It hasn't been cold at all. You can see I'm not, in the coat. Gio here helping. Well, yeah, Gio's never in the coat. But these fine men are in suits. You can tell they're business people. They're looking very business-like. And so get all your financial questions ready, okay? We want you to partake in this conversation because what you have can spark a light in someone's thoughts. There's nothing like a stupid question or the smartest question. We all have the ability to inspire or motivate somebody. And so this is the community building show. Show by show, we try to build our community. And so it's not just us or any individual trying to do that. It's all of us coming together to build our community. And so stay around. We'll take a short break, commercial break, and then I'll continue the discussion this evening. We shall be right back.
Many Africans feel very strongly about their motherland. Africa is a continent that calls those who are born or rooted in any of its countries to always return home, especially after leaving this earth. The truth is, African diaspora communities in the US, Canada, and Europe still struggle when it comes to the repatriation of the remains of their loved ones back home. The frustration that people experience when they are forced to leave their loved ones remains abroad is a terrible thing to endure. This is why Corporate Workforce Solutions developed RC, a mobile app to help raise funds for funerals and repatriation, but more importantly, take care of the kids left behind with huge amounts of bills, rent, mortgage, and education cost. Let's come together to create a much larger community to make fundraising for funerals and repatriation seamless and effortless. Strength is always in numbers, and RC is meant to be the perfect platform to help the African diaspora raise funds. Join RC today and strengthen your sense of community within the African diaspora. By so doing, it will bring peace of mind to you and many others who are worried about the remains of their loved ones being abandoned in a foreign country. A single hand cannot tie a bundle. Even the strongest and richest needs their community through a rough time. The benefit guarantee per event is $15,000 for US and Canada and $7,500 for Europe. RC is easy to use and loaded with great features. Download the app from Google Play and the App Store. On Google Play, search for RC, and on the App Store, search for RC Donation. RC is available for the African diaspora in the US, Canada, and Europe. To learn more about RC, visit us at www.corporatewfs.com or email us at rcdonation@corporatewfs.com. Sign up today. RC, in a true spirit of African solidarity.
Lawson & Associates Consulting, certified public accountants and tax professionals, located at 970 West Lake Street, Suite 106 in Roselle, Illinois. We are English and French-speaking professionals. We have 30 years of experience providing boutique accounting and tax expertise to individuals and businesses. We are experts in tax preparation and representation. Please call 224-520-8085 now for big discounts for businesses and individual tax returns. Visit us at the website lawsonassociatesconsulting.com.
I was lost inside the desert fortress circling round my head, but thanks to God now I made it out of there. I was just another sheep inside the belly of the beast, but thanks to God now I made it out of there. Guru Guru Meche Meshe, I am a Hallelujah. Guru gudu meje leshe yaya mefa hallelujah. Gudu gudu meje leshe yaya mefa hallelujah. Gudu gudu meje leshe yaya mefa hallelujah. Hallelujah. This ain't lucky now. Can't you see the hand of heaven is upon me? This ain't lottery now. This is 40 days and 40 nights. Seek and ye shall find. I say more muscle to your hustle, more butter to your bubble, more blessing to the talika. May God give you all the barika. More muscle to your hustle, more butter to your bubble, more blessing to the talika. May God give you all the barika. I was lost inside the desert, vultures circling round my head, but thanks to God now I made it out of there. I was just another sheep inside the belly of the beast, but thanks to God now I made it out of there. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Guru Guru Meje Leshe Yaya Mefa hallelujah. Guru Guru Meje Leshe Yaya Mefa hallelujah. Hallelujah.
You're tuned into WGHC 98.3 FM. Your voice, your music, your station. This station is a 501c3 organization. We are community radio, so we depend on your donations and contributions. That's how we thrive. That's how we are able to implement all these events that we have lined up for this year. Check our Facebook page. You would see our event lineup. In May, we have the Chicago Street Festival that is coming up here in the uptown of Chicago. It's basically a campaign against gang violence in our city. In July, we have the CACON coming, the Chicago African Cup of Nations, another big one. And in September, the grand event itself, which is our Night of the Legends. In September as well, the Yacht Party, which is, cruising on the lakes of Chicago, the Lake and River of Chicago. It's epic. We got you, but you have to get us in order to be able to put this event, in order to be able to implement this event. It's all for the good of our community and our society. I always say that you may not be able to come here and do a show or contribute in one way or the other, but your donation, your money coming to us is as equal as you coming here or coming here to do a show, and that's how we build a community together. I will not bore you with all this information. We'll want to go straight to this wonderful gentleman here. These are fine guys, man. They're in dark, shades. I don't know why they're wearing dark shades here, but all right, okay. If you're not on Facebook, you're missing. These are fine men who have achieved a lot for themselves and for their community. Mr. Amponsah here is a good friend. I met him some years ago in Bolingbrook. When I met him, he was at church. He was serving the church with his skills and talent. He was a finance treasurer, whatever, for his church. And at the time, I'm like, that's why it's good. You don't triple or you make sure you don't build bend bridges with people or just fuss with people or because you never know who you would need in life or when your path will cross again in life. When I met this gentleman, I just come from Ghana and he was there and we had a cordial relationship, and long years down the lane, I never knew he was this serious into finance. But we are here, coming to talk about finance and how we can build our community. Next to him is the serial entrepreneur. In a short time, he will tell us why he's called the serial entrepreneur. But his name is James Wilson. Gentlemen, welcome to the Progressive Mind Show.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
We have accepted as a society this saying that money is the root of all evil. And somehow people have accepted it. And I always think, I'm like, no, money is not the root of all evil.
Exactly, that's true.
Yeah, because if you say roots and evil, well, I don't need to give you the definition of roots and evil, but we know what root and evil is, right? And if you look at it critically with an open mind, long before money came into existence, there was evil.
Evil was there.
Cain killed his brother And they weren't using money. That is, if you believe in the Cain and Abel in the history of, or if you believe in that history, that biblical history, when there were wars, Abraham, and even when Joseph's brothers, betrayed him and all that, it wasn't about money.
No.
So there was so much evil back there. I mean, evil has always been with us.
Evil has always
but
been.
it had nothing to do with money.
That's true. That is
so the concept of money is is the root of all evil, as I want to debunk it. And this gentlemen here are gurus they're custodian of when it comes to finance. And so if they are agreeing with me, which then means that what I'm saying is right. Okay, so money, I think, is now I think what is the root of all evil is jealousy, greed, and maybe pride.
That's true.
These things are things that causes evil. Yes. But that is just my philosophy, my theory. That is not why we are here today. Let's go to this, guys.
Okay. No, it's true.
Anthony, again, when I knew you were not married. You were just a young guy. And I'm sure whilst you were in church, you were looking. To see who you can find. But long story short, you are here, you married, you have a beautiful family. Tell us about it.
Well, thank you so much, Alenko, for hosting us. We're grateful to WGHC and the audience, 98.3, your voice, your music, your station. And we are fortunate to be able to share the airways with our listeners this evening, and just want to have a conversation, really. And like you said, we've got connected many years ago, actually, now. And in so many ways, we were young boys at that time. And now, grown men, married to a beautiful wife, two daughters. My oldest is 3, and my youngest actually just turned 2. So, that's family life. And my wife is also very enterprising. She's been been pretty much self-employed pretty much all her life. Both in the beauty and cosmetology industry, and then also in the fashion and design. She's also an interior design by trade. So a lot of skill sets there.
I know she's also very interested in real estate. She has a lot of knowledge about it when I spoke with her the other time.
Yeah, like I said, she's very enterprising. And that,
she's an awesome lady.
Some of the things
Deshauna is an awesome lady.
Total package.
You're blessed to have a great woman.
Thank you.
James Wilson, you are the serial. Now, before I go to James, back in the Bolingbroke, we used to play soccer with Peter and all these guys all the time. Yeah. I never saw you play soccer. I don't know if you liked it and you played in your home or...
Well, you know what? I do like soccer. And, my background, for most people that know me, right, I came to the States, pretty much as a young boy, very young, right before my teens. And so over time, the day-to-day playing soccer kind of faded away a little bit.
And then finance took over.
We've always, my goal and priority has always been work hard now and play later.
I got you. So
I got serious pretty early.
I like that statement. I would want to expand on that. Work hard now and play later. Yeah. James Wilson, I'm trying to, I presume, let's see, you're not a soccer fan, basketball fan.
Yes, that's correct.
And let me see, you must have played. No, you didn't play in high school. You look like you played in college.
No.
I'm wrong on that. Okay, tell us the truth.
Okay. Once again, I do thank you guys for allowing us to experience your platform today. As Anthony told you about me, I am the serial entrepreneur. The reason why that name has been branded to me is because I'm passionate about all things business. Starting a business, finding a process, perfecting the process, putting somebody in place to manage it, and starting the process all over. My background is pretty similar, pretty similar to everyone. I'm from the south side of Chicago. Have a mom, 3 sisters. I'm the smallest, so I had the ability to get into anything and everything, and I did just that. Fell off into business early off in my life. Had this same ideology, this same mind frame since I was 18 years old, and I really thought about this last night. I still, to this day, I still have spirals where I used to write all of my ideas down in the back of my spirals. I want to do this and do that. Like, those spirals are turning brown on pages. But, just that affirmation of putting it out there, and now being at this point I am in my life and saying that it's starting to come to fruition, That's the perfect correlation to to an actual dream.
Right.
I've met Anthony when we actually started the actual Trade Nation. That's our trading platform that we are, extending throughout the city of Chicago.
Okay.
And we actually instantly clicked. He's a finance guy. I'm a finance guy. It was a perfect marriage. It's been off to the races ever since.
Family life? You married or you still single?
Yeah, I'm still single, but
You're looking.
I mean,
all right, hey, all the ladies out there, get on Facebook and check this guy out. If you say, all right, no, okay. You're in the process.
Yeah, I'm not married, but eventually I definitely see myself, being hitched. There's definitely nothing wrong with having a mate.
You had your educational background shortly. Would you?
Yeah, I actually went to DePaul.
Okay,
so yeah, yes, that's correct.
A bachelor's, master's.
Well, I actually haven't finished. The entrepreneur bug hit me.
Okay.
And I've been off to the races ever since. But I gave my mom, declaration that I will go back and further my education. Yeah.
Look, if you can become an entrepreneur and succeed and make it in life, who cares about college?
In fact,
Bill Gates did not go.
They give you honorary degrees later.
Exactly. You can now get honorary degrees.
Dr. Mensa Otabil in Ghana. Mm-hmm. He has a doctor's degree. We never went to university. Yeah. So, we know about the Facebook guy. Yeah. We know about Michael Dell. All this. Come on now. Again,
a lot of self-made.
Yeah. If you have it and you can make it, and you can combine the two, good enough. Yes. But if you think college is going to get in the way, and everything is good for you, and you can make it, please follow your dream and keep persisting, and you would make it. These guys they are living proof. Okay, you came to do your college bachelor's degree in this country.
Yeah, I did most of my schooling in this country. In fact, I started around 5th grade.
Here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right here in Chicago, actually.
I did a show last week and talking about what is now wrong with us. Mm-hmm. So this is a typical example of what is now wrong with us as a people. Mm-hmm. Fine, man, you've made it. You followed your dream. You have the talent and the skills to become anybody and to achieve anything that you want. And more importantly, you wanted to go into finance. You wanted to be entrepreneurs, and you have succeeded in doing that. So that is not what is wrong with us. However, what is wrong with us is how it is that as a people, stats show that we have the highest purchasing power, but looks like we're the poorest. Why is it that we are not able to save for our future? We are not able to have that generational income. So I'll leave it to you. I just want to pose it to the two of you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Give us the breakdown of how it looks like when it comes to the different ethnic groups and how we're doing financially or economically.
Okay, well, in regards to us as a whole, I think it first starts in the household. Mm-hmm. Then it also has a huge part in regards to the media. Mm-hmm. A lot of individuals that tend to be young, they may, be in a good position financially, but we make terrible financial decisions, mm-hmm. which leads us to, over leverage, leads us to purchasing things that, tends to be a liability instead of an asset. And it all comes back to, proper financial education. Right. I can definitely quote Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's best to always focus on an asset versus a liability.
Okay.
An asset is always going to depreciate. An asset is always going to appreciate.
Okay. So can you give us some statistics, some numbers, when it comes to the different ethnic groups and how it's looking economically and financially? Which, it looks like, the reason I'm asking is, it looks like the black community mm-hmm. is not doing well economically.
Well, it's not only that it looks like, it is the reality.
All right. And so I want us to give us some numbers. Yes.
And it's these are the numbers pretty much in all categories, mm-hmm. right? That mm-hmm. you find often that minorities are always underperforming in a lot of cases in double digits, right? Mm-hmm. And when with respect to people of color in terms of Black America, the statistics are even worse in those cases in terms of level of education,
exactly.
And the type of education they got, the environment in which they got the education, the type of courses that were offered to them. So the cards have always been stacked against us in essence. And really, what is wrong with us when that is brought up is really how do we make the change? You look at the way life is today, and in as much as we've made so much progress, it still feels like we're so far behind, right? And really, what is wrong with us is really not understanding some of these concepts in terms of what type of system we live in.
Exactly.
What type of economic model are we living in, and if you're in that model, what are your options? How do you get upward mobility in that type of system, right? And so I think it's a good point that you're raising these, because these are conversations that needs to be had, so that once you know the facts on the ground, then it's only then that you can start to make changes.
So from what you guys just said, there are things that are against, our community, right?
Yes.
Which impoverishes us, basically.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay. We are in this stage where people say crabs in the barrel.
Yes.
At that time, I was saying that, they say we have this syndrome, we are crabs in the barrel because we pull each other down. Well, if you put a bunch of crabs in a barrel, they don't have nowhere else to go.
Exactly.
They're trying to survive, so they will trample over each other,
Exactly.
knowingly and unknowingly.
Yeah.
Unintentionally, everybody's trying to survive. Now, eventually, some crabs might make it to the top and fall out. The most important thing is that when those ones that fall out are out, now they have to go and look for a ladder, something, to pull the others out. Which is what looks like it's like in our community. Now, you guys seem to have made it, in terms of financial knowledge. You've gained a lot of financial knowledge. You know where money has to go to, why we have to invest, and how money grows. Okay, how do we now, as a people, begin to utilize our money?
No, well, that's a good question. And really, once you have money, right, you're either saving it, investing it, or basically spending it. So those are your options, right? And what I see, though, and this will probably get into more in our later topic, is that when you have a small pie, you still got to carve it in these three buckets of saving, investing, and spending.
Okay.
So there's a lot of forces that is against us in terms of the pie that a lot of us are holding is pretty small to begin with, right? So in terms of how much is left to even save, at the end of the day, it's not even there.
Right.
Exactly.
So then when you compound that with poor habits in terms of not knowing that you should be paying yourself first, and knowing that you should be even saving, then now you've really, the situation now, you worsen the situation, right?
James, so I'll come back to you, Tony. But James, the stats, the numbers also show that the black community have the purchasing power to a tune of about
$7 trillion.
$7 trillion.
$7 trillion.
Jesus Christ.
$7 trillion.
That is probably all the other ethnic groups and the Caucasian combined.
Yeah.
Okay, so that tells you that technically we're not that poor, or like we're not lacking that much. We may have issues where we don't, our expenditures outweigh our income. But if we have this much purchasing power, which means at least there's something in our kitty, in our coffers, that we can utilize in terms of investment. Exactly. I think the problem here is how misplaced priorities.
Yes,
exactly.
So if you can tell me in the black community why people are not necessarily investing but are using their money to buy stuff, like you just want to spend on everything else than putting money in places that can grow the money.
Okay, that's a very good question. Really, it's a scenario which I'm pretty sure that everyone, each of us, is already aware of.
Well, we may have been aware of, but a lot of people listening that are not aware of.
Okay.
So I wanted you to break it down.
Okay, but yeah, it's definitely something that all falls back onto, education. The different individuals in different classes, have access to a lot of course material that's not accessible, via these impoverished, communities, which leads us to, sort of following false idols. You tend to follow the rappers, the athletes, and you see, it's all glitz and glamour with their lifestyle, but in all actuality, a lot of times it's not like that. So when we do come across or do tend to acquire some sort of finance, instead of us placing that finance in an investment vehicle that generates and compounds, we tend to go left and do the complete opposite.
Okay.
Buying things that tend to be liabilities. So that's why right now we're instituting something that's totally fresh, and I do feel that it does have the ability to revitalize the community, which is through education.
Okay, education.
Yeah. And I want to even add on to what James just said, and that is that with respect to the education, I grew up where, the older ladies, what they would do is they would hoard their money, right? And their understanding of financial planning is that you should be saving, but where they did their savings was really under their mattress and in their pillows, right? And likewise, the men did the same, right? And what really was happening is that they didn't understand the fundamentals of money, and I read somewhere that, most people look at money as just that, just money, just paper. But really the root of it is currency.
Exactly.
Right. And when you look at currency, it is coming from the Latin is really current. The underflow of currency is current. Right. And what that means is that the only way it grows is when it flows.
Circulation.
It has to go in circulation. Right. And these are some of the things we'll be talking about when we start talking about capital and how to invest and how to make money work for you rather than you working for money, or really not understanding the impacts of inflation on your money and therefore the need to invest to ensure that you have growth that keeps up with those inflationary targets wherever community that you find yourself living, or whatever country or region of the world that you find yourself living.
So this is the time, or the time has come now for people to start waking up, to start looking at looking at things differently. And you mentioned, people looking at rappers and entertainers and how they spend their money. Fortunately for them, they have too much money, so when they spend them, that's fine. And what you've also noticed is that a lot of these athletes and these entertainers have made money to a certain extent, but have fallen drastically. They burn all their money because of the lack of not investing.
Yes.
So there's an urgent need now that we start educating our communities about the power of money.
Yes.
Let's talk about the power of money. Okay. Because like you said, we look at the money and we think it's paper.
Right.
But can you give us a little more weight on money, on money, in the sense that how does $20, how can you how powerful is $20? In sense of how can it be turned around, to multiply itself to become more than $20?
Okay.
I don't know if I'm asking the right question, but I want to get into the power of money.
I think I get that.
Please.
Well, I can use our